I'm Jeff Fuller. I'm putting together a few examples, case studies of application of probability risk analysis in different sectors. This is on a case where we applied a basic probability risk analysis to school shooting scenarios in Prince William County, Virginia. We did this in conjunction with a couple citizens groups that had asked, Uh, what were the chances of us responding effectively to a Uvalde type attack? This was after that horrific attack in Uvalde, where the school division was completely feckless and everything basically went wrong that could go wrong. So we responded to that. I enlisted the help of a retired FBI senior agent and a senior Secret Service uh, officer who were in the community and interested in this problem. And we worked through that along with a number of other advisors that reviewed our work. To make a long story short, we presented these results in starting in late 2023 and into 24 to citizens groups and to the school division and the school board. As a result of that effort, we've been credited by several school board members as having shined a light on this problem and that the school division has responded to a number of our recommendations. Now, we're not totally satisfied because there's a problem with, especially with elementary schools not having any armed response capability, but the school division definitely responded and improved significantly a number of aspects of the security system. With that in mind, my point here is to basically illustrate for students at the Capital Technology University who are interested in this subject a way that this process was applied. We basically tried to make it as simple as possible. There's no need to have a degree of complexity on any of these analyses beyond which the data or the information supports. So the basic things that we considered were threat analysis, consequence analysis, vulnerability analysis, overall risk management, which means applying different fixes to the things identified and then comparing the results. We the standard model that at least that I have used in years of work for Department of Homeland Security and the Coast Guard, for example, involves analysis of the security system versus the attacker at some level, and a number of other factors. But to keep it simple, we applied the most basic elements to to the response side, considering those aspects of the response shown in blue here. And we added the notion of a prevention model, which considered the elements that you see there in blue under prevention. And I'm going to show you briefly in a top level form how that breaks out. So we took that general concept that I described for the analysis. We applied the current prevention capability in terms of its capability to basically prevent the attacker from attacking by intervening effectively, identifying them and intervening effectively. And then we assess the current security posture's capability of responding effectively to that threat and defeating it. In this case, the results in the most simple form are shown here. Without anything except a call to 911, we calculated or estimated that the worst case scenario would be 28 children and staff killed, or the equivalent of being killed. We assessed that the current capability for that scenario was about 19 being killed, some improvement, obviously, and that if our reasonable best case were applied, that we would expect the death toll to be down to about 5. We noted that based on a study between the 2010 school year and the 2020 school year, that a number of factors that were looked at have gone down, as illustrated here. However, a number have gone up. And a particular note, and this applies to one of the problem school divisions face, is that these here apply to disorder in the classroom, fear of the teachers and staff uh, of this basically out of control school environment in terms of security. And we note that one of the key rationales for having security professional in the schools is to manage this, not active shooters. This can generally be managed without an armed response. School shooters cannot be. So that's just part of the context of the environment that this was being considered in. So here's the analysis framework. We had 4 attack scenarios, we had 3 school types, and we applied 3 different response capabilities. This is what the analysis model looks like from 1/1,000 foot, and we're happy to provide this, by the way, to anybody that's interested. Now let me turn. So this is the model we used for the prevention side of the equation. As you can see, there's 4 components, and I won't speak to those in any detail, but I think they're straightforward. We think that probably the most important part of this equation is a robust threat assessment team that integrates, keeps track of things, integrates and responds to information about a student at risk, and so forth. The response model is more in keeping with what I've used in analysis of terrorist threats and active shooter threats. We used a 28 death maximum based on the Columbine shooting as our worst case. We basically we consider this sort of this is not a this is an illustration, not an analysis of detailed data, but what we expect is that the shooter casualty rate will follow a curve similar to this. The components of the assessment are basically detect, decide, engage, and defeat again, but what we're looking for each of those is a different aspect having to do with response. The most important part of that equation is getting a responder to the scene to engage the shooter in a timely manner, as this illustration on the left shows. Now, I'm going to just quickly illustrate these 2 components using the Columbine attack against the current capability of our school division. As you can see, the prevent capability is significantly different from high schools and elementary schools. I'm not going to get into the why of that. I'm just trying to illustrate how the model basically works. With regard to response and prevention, this shows the same judgments, now adding in the response equation and then showing the 2 factors being taken together. So significant different capability in high schools and elementary schools in terms of response. Why? Because there's armed security professionals in the high schools and none in the elementary schools. So we did assess, interestingly, that the SROs would have a significant improvement in both prevention and response in elementary schools, because they're there looking for those kind of problems and will be able to, if there's a problem coming from a child, they're more likely to detect it. This compares the results from high school versus elementary school for the worst case scenario, which was the Columbine scenario. And you can see by the different color codes how the results broke out for each of those. and it's really quite different. In the case of the elementary schools, largely because there's no armed security professional there to uh, be involved in prevention and also response, the death toll we estimated to be 23, uh, whereas the alternative, when we applied it, was 5 killed, or we would call it equivalent fatalities. So, and the other thing we note is that the psychological impact of killing that many children in an elementary school who can't fight, can't run. The killer's average age is 30 in these cases, so they're not coming from within the school. So it's just it's another aspect of this that citizens keep in mind when they're worried about this problem. So this basically concludes my what I had to offer, and I think the question is the question was answered to the satisfaction of the community groups that asked the question, and I am personally pleased that we were able to see the ball moving significantly in terms of readiness of the school division. And and while there's still problems, I think we can feel comforted in knowing that this analysis was persuasive to the citizens and to the school division personnel, the security people, as well as the uh, school board. So thanks. I hope that's helpful. My contact information is on the first slide. Well, you're welcome to give me a call or send me an email with questions or comments. Have a great day.